Sims Walker, knocked down.
Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
In trouble. He's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again.
Jackson takes it himself. Look at him dart back and forth. Oh! He broke his ankles.
I have never seen this before in my life.
Still looking. Firing. Near corner. It's caught!
Denver! Unbelievable!
And welcome to the fourth down fiasco!
Hello and welcome to the Fourth Down Fiasco. My name is Tanner Vinski, and with me today is Daniel Weber. We are missing Jordan Pryor again, so we will make sure to do him proud on his part. I know there's a lot riding on us having a great performance today, so we'll do our best. We've been studying film, making sure we can give a good product out on the field. Unlike some of the teams that we saw this weekend. Hey-o. Yeah, more like the Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
So today we're going to cover the Bengals-Steelers game because we have a Bengals and a Steelers fan together, just one-on-one. So it's time for us to discuss all the fun activities of our two teams and the Bengals' a little grim future after the loss.
There's not much fun in my team right now. I mean, our offense is kind of exciting, but that's about it.
Yeah, no, you have like one side of the ball that's like very exciting, and then the other side of the ball that makes you want to vomit.
No, yeah. I keep seeing those stats. It's like quarterback records when they're averaging like 300 yards a game and 3 touchdowns and like 1 interception a game or whatever like that. And like all the teams are like 12-0 or like 9-3 or like 11-1. And we're 4-8.
Yikes. And then, so we'll talk about that for a little while. After we get that done, we're going to give out our illustrious fiasco award for the week. We actually, for the first time, are going to have a co-fiasco award, and then we're each going to pick one afterwards.
And no
if you were
gonna
paying attention to last week, you know exactly who that's going to. And then we're going to do our pick'ems for next week, which we have not been tracking, but I'd like to believe that we're both winners in that part. So
we're both winners, okay?
So, Danny, how about you get us started? What are your immediate thoughts after seeing you guys drop to 4-8?
At this point, I'm not surprised. Like with how historically bad our defense has been, it's impossible for an offense to keep up. It's almost like an NFL offense is playing against a UFL defense. Like half these players should not even be in a league, really, with how they've been playing. And how we've not fired or cut or changed anything through 13 weeks of the season is beyond me. Like how our DC is still there, or how even any of our I keep some of our starters. The only thing we've done on defense, besides having injuries, is we benched Cam Taylor-Britt for like 3 quarters. That's the only change we've made on defense.
I mean, what's his name? It's Lou Anarumo, right?
Yeah, Lou Anarumo.
Anarumo. I always forget how to spell his name. He was there for the Super Bowl run, right? Wasn't he your DC during that? I mean, he used to have a great defense that he coached and put together, but he's been horrific this year. And you can blame the personnel as much as you want. I mean, the big thing I look at when looking at that game last week is you see, chance to ice the game for the Steelers. You see Justin Fields get on the field. What do you think Justin Fields is going to do, right?
I was literally yelling at the TV. I was like, you better tackle Justin Fields. Send the house at Justin Fields. There's no other reason he's on the field for that reason.
Yeah, Russell Wilson isn't fast enough at this stage in his career, so they bring out Justin Fields for these. They're like extremely telegraphed. Like everyone knows that when Justin Fields comes out onto the field, it's because he's going to keep the ball and run. But the entire Bengals defense crashes on the run. And I know it's an RPO, but to have your entire defense dedicate to the run and not the quarterback scramble, it's ridiculous.
There were 3 guys that were left unblocked on the right side of the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. And Geno Stone, who I have hated since week 1, he is a horrible tackler, does not take the correct lines to the players. He ran over our 2 other defenders and knocked them over.
Yeah.
None of them had a person in front of him except Justin Fields, and he took out the 3 options.
Well, the crazy thing is you sent the house, but all of those guys got picked up on blocks because of that. Like, there was no pressure towards the backfield at all, and I mean, it was just an easy angle.
We stopped Harris. Harris didn't have that first down. If he had the ball, he was not getting the first down. And the 3 people that were left unblocked were taken out by his own team.
I know.
Like, there was Hubbard and I think Hilton were on that right side. I could be wrong with the 2 other players. But Geno Stone knocked one into the other, and they both fell over.
The issue with that, though, is, I mean, even if they would have kept the ball, you'd knock over Najee, you stop the conversion, right?
Yeah.
Why is the defense lined up in that manner when you see Justin Fields take the field, right? Yeah. Like, you know that he's scrambling out. Like,
it's a read option. Have 2 people on each guy. Just have 2 people on Justin Fields. Like, he can only run one way on a read option, depending on where the running back is lined up. Have 2 guys just guard him.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't understand it.
No, it's ridiculous. And to me, that seems more like a coaching issue rather than a personnel issue.
It goes to both. Like, he could have said, hey, do this. And they were like, oh, I'm going to go tackle the running back instead. Like, we don't know what the dudes were thinking. But what is dumbfounding to me is that against Kansas City, we can shut down their offense. We did it this year. We've done it the last 4 years. But against any other team, we are garbage. It's like, how do we shut down the best quarterback in NFL over the last X amount of years, but we can't stop who do we even play? We can't even stop I guess all our losses are against good teams. Well, we couldn't even beat the Patriots.
Well, yeah, you couldn't beat the Patriots. I mean, it was close against the Panthers.
We gave up 38 to the Commanders.
Yeah.
It was this dude's 3rd game in the NFL, and he put up 38 points.
Yeah, just
on the road.
And that's, I don't get it with the Bengals. Like, you said, like, they are able to completely handle the Chiefs offense. And I think a lot of coaches run into this issue where, and at this point, I mean, you've played the Chiefs enough over the last couple of years that they are practically a division rival at this stage. You know, it was like the Steelers and the Colts and the Patriots. Those 3 teams were practically rivals in a division because they played each other every year. And it's gone that way with the Chiefs at this point. So it makes sense that you have a game plan to handle that. But how are they so dog shit against everybody else? Because, you know, there's times where you can handle a rival and you know how to game plan them. But typically you're able to handle other situations. The Steelers have that with Lamar Jackson. We know how to limit Lamar Jackson. We know how to make sure that the Ravens don't do well. But we also can game plan against any other defense or any other quarterback. And, yeah, sometimes it doesn't look great, but we still have a solid defense. Whereas the Bengals, you can only stop Mahomes and you can't stop anybody else.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to learn how to stop Mahomes, look at us. If you want to learn how to stop anyone else, don't.
I mean, it's kind of the Raiders. The Raiders have a similar situation too. The Raiders look pretty bad against almost every other team, but they look good against the Chiefs every time they play them. Like, yeah, they lose to the Chiefs a lot, but it's always competitive.
It goes back to your division thing. It's like they are in their division. They play them twice a year.
Yeah.
But I will say, I feel like Cincinnati in, 21, we kind of helped the NFL learn how to stop Mahomes to an extent.
Yeah.
Because you always put a QB spy on running quarterbacks, but you don't really picture Mahomes as like a dude that's going to scramble all that often. But throughout that entire AFC Championship game, we just had Logan Wilson shadowing Mahomes wherever he went.
Yeah.
He was just waiting for his time. And now a lot of teams are doing that now. They're leaving their middle linebacker. Yes, if they can cover the middle of the field, they're putting somebody on Mahomes and just kind of shadowing him in case he gets out of the pocket.
Yeah, and it's limiting him a lot.
And you see the teams that don't do it, they get destroyed.
They get torched. Yeah, it's not pretty.
Yeah.
No, so, I mean, at this stage, just looking at it from the Bengals' perspective, I mean, you're at 4-8. You guys you're not eliminated yet, but it's looking grim.
I think it's a 2%.
Yeah, at this stage.
I think it's even worse now that the Broncos won last night.
Well, the Broncos and the Colts both won.
No, yeah, but the Broncos are more important since they're already higher.
Yeah,
already a game above the Colts.
But yeah, are the Colts 5-7?
If they're 5-7, then they're 2 games above. They're 6-7.
6-7.
So yeah, the Broncos are 2 games ahead. We needed the Broncos to lose for any sort of hope.
Yeah.
Because now we have Miami and Indianapolis still fighting, and they're all Miami's a game ahead, Colts are 2 games ahead, and Denver's 4 games ahead.
Oh, you're 4 games ahead. That's
because we're 4-8, they're 8-5. There's 5 weeks left.
Yeah.
So
well, the thing is, you guys can maybe sneak a wild card, but you guys can't get the division anymore.
No, not at all.
You're mathematically eliminated from that. Because have you guys won a division game?
We have won against the Browns.
Against the Browns. So what are you guys 1-3 in division play?
1-3, 1-4.
Yeah. So at that point, the best you can finish is either 3-3 or
unless you guys lose out, or no. Yeah. If you guys lose, you guys might still hold the division. We could finish with the same record if we won out and you guys lost out.
So what? We'd both be 9-8.
Yeah. And then it would go by.
It'd go by division.
Record. And you guys have all your division games now almost.
Yeah.
We already won more than 2, and we only have you and the most division games we can win is 3 because we have the Browns and Steelers again. That's it.
I'm trying to think. I think we've only actually played each person in the division once. And I think we're 2-1. So I mean, we could actually go 2-4, and that could be your path in.
Let's see. So yeah, we're 1-3. You guys are 2-1. So if Baltimore and Pittsburgh lost out and we won out, we'd win the division.
But that's the only way.
Yes.
Which practically means you guys are screwed. Like that's.
Oh yeah.
That's where it's at.
I've made peace of halfway through the season we weren't making the playoffs. Like, yeah, we went on that little stretch, and then everything went back to shit.
The main reason I wanted to bring it up is because I've been seeing everyone's wondering how Joe Burrow's career is going to look now. And a lot of people are saying that, is he going to be like this generation's Dan Marino, where he's going to just be putting up insane numbers, looking really good, but he just never is able to win a Super Bowl. Or I saw people also saying, or even like a Matt Stafford, like, he has full career. Oh, did I?
Are you back?
I'm back.
All right. After I said Phillip Rivers, you said something else.
Okay. After Rivers, I was saying people were also saying it could be a Matt Stafford situation where, doesn't do well on his original team, late in his career, goes to another team, wins a Super Bowl. I mean, I don't think the Bengals, how old is Burrow? He's not
27.
Like 27, right? He's not that old.
No, he still has quite a few years in him.
So
put him on Denver or the Chargers or Houston, and they're fighting Kansas City for that 1 seed.
Oh, absolutely. Do you think, though, by the time, Burrow's current contract is up, like, are the Bengals in a good enough position to compete? Or do you think they need a couple years to rebuild around Burrow?
It depends on if we let Katie Blackburn take over.
Yeah.
So Katie Blackburn is the one who kind of got us into our new generation. We made a trade in the offseason for the second time in franchise history this year. We got new jerseys. We started changing the way we've done contracts, but she's not fully in charge. Once Mike Brown steps down and lets her just run the team, we'll be in a much better spot. If that does not happen this year, I don't think we'll be there by the time Burrow ends his contract.
Because how many more years does he have on that contract?
4.
He has 4 more years? Okay.
Yeah. But we kind of need to do like a shotgun reload, or shotgun rebuild. Like, we can't do a long-term reload. We need to rebuild. We need to kind of do what the Rams did. Obviously not trade away every first-round pick for the next 8 years. But we need to kind of sell house if we want to let Burrow have a shot at a ring again.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what a lot of people are saying is you need to essentially find a way to trade away whatever negative assets you have, bring in whatever money you have through free agency to try to compete in the next 2 to 3 years. Because if you waste away 2 to 3 years of Burrow's career, you get into that last year of his contract, and then you play the risk of, does he even want to re-sign at that point?
No, yeah, and then you'll probably end up trading him his last year to get something in return.
Get something out of it.
No, yeah, but I think with like if we cut like 4 players, like if we cut Zach Moss, Geno Stone, Von Bell, and there's another guy, we could end up with like 112 million, 110 million in cap space over the offseason, which would be very nice.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And if we can just go after good players, that would actually kind of work. Get a new defensive coordinator, because that's a whole different thing.
And potentially a new coach. Here, let me kick the dog out.
No, yeah, we definitely need a new coach. Let me see if I can find this tweet real quick that I was reading. I don't know if I liked it. It was basically some dude, bored at work, yeah. So he said, let's rebuild the 2025 Bengals. He said, firehouse, bring in the Lions DC, Aaron Glenn, to be their 11th head coach in franchise history.
Yep.
So build up their defense, because we don't need, like, we have our offense. Like, even if Burrow's there, he's going to run an offense. Like, it'll be fine. Bring in a defensive-minded coach. Bring in Tanner Engstrand as the OC. He's the helps overlook the Lions' passing offense currently. Okay. Bring in Terrell Williams as the DC. I don't know where he came from. Bring in the Tulane offensive line coach, or coach for the offensive line. But yeah, he said cut Geno Stone, Alex Kappa, Sam Hubbard, Sheldon Rankings, and Zach Moss, and we approached free agency with around 112 million. He started with, people aren't going to like this, but tag and trade T. Higgins to the Patriots for a 2nd and 5th round.
Yep.
Which I don't know what we're going to do there. Then they said, go after Bears offensive lineman Jenkins for a 4-year, $52 million deal to help secure the interior offensive line. Then go out and sign Asante Samuel Jr. for 3 years, $28.5 million. Then go get Milton Williams to a 4-year, $90 million deal. Re-sign Gesicki for $7.5 million for 2 years. Go get Cameron Bynum for 3 years, $42 million. And then the big one is give Chase 5 years, $198 million.
I mean, you definitely should re-sign Chase for a long contract. I mean, he's such a vocal part of the offense.
He should have done it before he might win the Triple Crown.
Yep. And that's the thing. What's it called? I've been seeing that a lot. I do think with how dire the defense is and with how good Burrow can make his receivers, I don't see any reason in bringing back T. Higgins for a ton of money. I think if you bring back T. Higgins for a bunch of money, you're putting yourself in like a really dangerous spot where all of a sudden it's like, we're putting so much capital in the offense. Can we even build a good defense at that point?
No. And that's the thing. Like, I love T. Higgins, but if we can go find another 6'5" dude that wins 50-50 balls and can run a 4.6 or whatever he runs, I'm fine with that. We could have drafted Jermaine Burton for that same reason.
Well, I mean, think about how good your offense has been without T. Higgins still, with him not playing this year. And it's he makes a significant difference, don't get me wrong, but if you build up your defense, you don't need to be scoring 40 points a game like you currently do, you know?
No, yeah. He opens up Chase a lot. But if we get another solidified number 2, like, it's going to open up Chase anyways.
Yeah.
But I think we're averaging like 10 to 14 more points with Higgins on the field, something like that. But still, like you said, if we're stopping an offense 4 or 5 times a game instead of once,
yeah,
We don't have to score those extra 14 points.
I mean, let me go look at the drive summary. I want to see how many times the Steelers punted. All right, field goal.
You should just be able to go into like the team stats thing.
Let me see.
Box score. Oh. One punt for 38 yards.
Yeah, you had us punt once.
Yes.
And this was a game even where you got a defensive touchdown, too.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't like that's how bad the defense was. You get a defensive touchdown, but you can only get one punt, and that's not enough to stop the Steelers offense. And the Steelers offense is the best it's been since 2018. But like this isn't like a high caliber offense,
No, yeah. And we made you punt at the start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And that was because you guys started with a penalty.
Yeah.
Well, this was your drive. Russell Wilson, incomplete pass, ineligible man downfield, penalty declined. 2nd and 10 at the Pittsburgh 47, Jalen Warren for 4 yards. And then 3rd and 6, Russell Wilson, incomplete to Pickens, penalty on Sumalo, offensive holding declined. And then that resulted in 4th and 6. Yeah. That was the only time you punt because of penalties. And then right afterwards, you guys got a touchdown anyways.
Yeah, and we just get a defensive touchdown back. So, no, that's egregious. Like, that's so bad.
I want to know how many times, I don't know where I'd find this, but how many times we've made people punt this year. Can't be very high.
Oh, it can't be high. Like, honestly, it probably isn't in the. You probably don't even break the 20s. Like it might be less than 20. Because you get one out of this game, and I don't think the Commanders ever did, right?
No, the Commanders' only non-touchdown or scoring play was the kneel.
Yeah. So I mean, that's two of your 12 games so far this season, 10, 11 games. Yeah, 2 of your 12 games, you have one punt between those 2 games. So, I mean, hitting 20 between the other 10, it's pretty tough,
Yeah. We probably got like 4 or 5 in the Patriots game. That would be our only savior.
Yeah, because that was like a relatively low-scoring game, right?
Yeah, it was 16-14 or something like that.
Okay.
But I saw a stat, scoring 38 points against Pittsburgh would have won you every single game since 2018 that they played in, except for 3 on Sunday, and they would have tied the other 2.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
It's like, how? Scoring 27 usually wins you a football game. Like 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
Almost always.
3 touchdowns and a field goal usually wins you a football game. Yeah, that's not 27, but that's 24. So 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals should guarantee you a win.
Not here.
No, but not if you're Cincinnati.
No, dude, it's grim. Like and the thing is like we talked, both you and I were in agreement, even me as much of a hater as I am. We were both in agreement that, well, actually, did you say they were going to win the division or did you say they were going to get second behind Baltimore? I can't remember.
Cincinnati?
Yeah.
It was kind of in between. It depends on if we beat Baltimore or not. Like they had a shot at winning the division or they could come in second just because it's the AFC North.
Well, regardless, I think we both said they had 11 wins minimum this year. And you guys can't even win 11 games. It's not even physically possible this time. So
we can't even win 10. We can't even win double digits.
No. And yeah, just thinking about last season, you have a 4th place schedule coming into the season. You guys went 9-8 regardless of the injuries. And to come out here and you guys are most likely going to finish worse. Like, are you kidding me?
With a healthy offense. Well, for the most season, besides Higgins.
Yeah, but the most important parts of the offense, your quarterback and your wide receiver 1, have been healthy, and you upgraded in the running game. I think
Chase Brown.
Yeah, I think Chase Brown's a way better running back right now than.
Well, if we had like the Joe Mixon that he's doing this year, I'm fine with that. But for the price point, I am fine with Chase Brown.
Exactly. Like you guys lucked. Oh, I wouldn't even say not really lucked into that, but the fact that like that fell into your lap,
Yeah.
Like but you go from Joe Mixon to somebody who's playing to the same efficiency as Joe Mixon.
Yeah, and then we got Mike Gesicki, who's playing great for a tight end, like a serviceable tight end. He's playing pretty well.
I mean, outside of Trey Hendrickson, is there anybody on your defense that you think is like worth keeping?
Logan Wilson and Hakeem Gaithers.
Logan Wilson's the Ohio dude, right?
Wyoming guy. Sam Hubbard is the Ohio guy that he needs to be cut. But we signed our 2 starting linebackers. They were both hurt this weekend. Logan Wilson was out and Hakeem Gaithers was nursing an injury. He played a couple snaps. We signed both of them for as much as, was it Brian Burns signed his contract? Like we got 2 linebackers for the price of 1, basically.
Wow.
So, and they're both pretty good. I like Logan Wilson. The 2 of them were leading the league in tackles for 6 weeks. Like it was like 1 and 2 or like 1 and 3. And then they both got hurt.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah. So I'd keep 3 people on our defense. Maybe 4. BJ Hill. I like BJ Hill up the middle.
Oh yeah, BJ Hill. He's not bad.
And then you can keep our rookies or our second year. Like Jordan Battle, he hasn't played enough to really know. He's been playing better than Geno Stone, who is our starting safety. But what is that, 5 people on our entire defense?
Yeah, on the entire. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you're throwing in just rookies who don't have enough tape yet,
No, yeah. But 4 starters I'd keep out of the 11. Oh, and Mike Hilton. In certain aspects, not man-to-man.
Yeah, no, Mike Hilton is what Mike Hilton is. There's a reason we didn't keep him around. Like he's electric. Like he can make big plays. Like he is so much fun to watch.
When you play his proper defense, he is very good.
Yep.
But when you have him play a different scheme, it's not big.
But man, that guy can get burned. You know, like, oh God.
But have you seen around the news about how Burrow is a big factor of the Bengals losing season?
No, I haven't. What do you mean?
It's like on First Take, Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp are blaming Joe Burrow for this season.
How? Like what is
Saying
what
that
is
he
Joe
needs
Burrow?
to play better.
Play better? What do you mean play better? Like
because he had 2 fumbles last weekend, and even though they scored 38 points, he had the 2 fumbles, which technically cost them the game. Yeah, sure. But your defense also shouldn't give up 44 points. He shouldn't be at the point in the game with 38 points, still having to throw the ball downfield and roll out of the pocket to make a play.
There's only this isn't basketball, right? Like there's only so much a single player can determine, right? Yeah. Like Joe Burrow doesn't play both sides of the field, like he's not going out there and playing corner. Like
yeah.
He can only control his side of the field, and he controls the offense well. Like you can't argue at this stage that Joe Burrow isn't a top 4 quarterback in the NFL. Like
he's leading the league in a lot of statistical categories. Like
he would have an MVP season if you guys were even 500. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think if you guys were 5-5 as opposed to 4-8, 5-5 instead of 4-8. Or geez, oh my God, 6-6. There we go.
Wow. There you go.
It's been a week. Like I said it twice too, and I'm like, that's
like
right.
5-5, no. 4-8. I mean 5-5. Wait.
It's like I was just looking at. I'm like, that doesn't add up to 12. Oh man. Yeah.
If you're 500, he's in the MVP conversation with Barkley.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, it's absurd. They were talking to Dan Orlovsky about it or whatever his name is, and he was just like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Joe Burrow's the only reason they have 4 wins."
Yeah, imagine if you were starting who's your backup right now?
half the league's quarterbacks, we'd probably be 2-10.
Oh, easily.
It's like in the games Burrow won, he had 450 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's like,
and I mean,
even in this game, he had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. And has Burrow had at least 300 yards in every game he's played?
I don't know if in every game, but he's averaging close to 300 yards a game.
Because, I mean, what is it? He's already at 3,300?
Yeah, he's at 33, 37. He is first in yards, first in touchdowns.
Let me go look at 2024 real quick.
Regular season, except for week 300, counting backwards from this week. So 309, 356, 428, 251, 234, 181 because he sucks against the Browns. 208, 392, 232, 324, 258, and 161.
Yeah, so if you remove, I mean,
week 1,
like these lower passing numbers in some of these games,
he's averaging over 250 yards a game.
Yeah, like that's ridiculous. Like you can't ask for any more than that.
No, 7.5 yards a pass, 30 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions, and probably all 5 aren't even his fault. I can't tell you his 5, but I'm assuming there's been a dumb one.
Yeah, you can't blame.
No.
You can't blame Joe Burrow for the season.
How people can just sit there and be like, yeah, Joe Burrow is the reason they're 4-8.
Well, that's the thing is, I mean, this is how it always is with football. It's like, oh, the team sucks, quarterback sucks. I mean, that's why people think Justin Herbert's a mid QB, right?
Oh yeah, but it's like, this team is so obvious. Like sometimes you can be like, oh, well, like they lost this 1-score game, and it's like their defense made them punt 4 times or 5 times, and they still lost. But it's like you look at this game, we lost the game, and we made you guys punt 1 time. It's like, what more do you want Joe Burrow to do? Like the defense has to help.
Not enough for some people. I don't know. That's the way it is. Like I said, I mean, I guarantee you can ask if you go to a sports bar and you talk to half the people in there, you would hear half people saying Justin Herbert is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and the other half would say, oh, Justin Herbert's kind of bad. Like he's been on a bad team. He's been okay this year, right? Like, and whereas if you actually watch these quarterbacks play, that's not the case. And it's especially obvious here when Joe Burrow puts up this many points each week, and it's like, what else can he do? Like there's
But
so I don't know.
How has Herbert actually played? He only has a 58 QBR on the season. His touchdown to interception ratio really good, but he has 2,500 yards, which is 18th, 13 touchdowns, which is 19th, and his total QBR is 55, which is 19th.
I mean, with this year, they're a rushing team.
But they're 9-4?
9-4, and what is his touchdown to interception ratio?
13-1.
13-1. Yeah, if you're a run first team,
it was week 2.
If you're a rush first team and you're 9-4 and your quarterback's 13-1, I think that quarterback's operating the offense about as well as he can.
Yeah, he threw for 147 yards last week, and that was all he did. Not a touchdown, not an interception. And they won 17-13. He did get sacked 5 times, though.
That was like when you're sitting there, you're like, wait, how is Justin Fields not hit 2,000 yards yet? I think we were talking, last week? Or Russell Wilson, not Justin Fields. And I'm like, well, the offense, like, it doesn't rely on the throw. Like, it doesn't rely on the pass, and Chargers the same way.
You also had that Baltimore game where the score was 9-6. So, or whatever.
Well, that's the issue. That's, like I said, that's why Pittsburgh quarterbacks, their stats always are lower, because they have to play Baltimore twice, and those games are ugly as shit. Like,
yeah, Russell Wilson's only at 1,600 yards after last week.
After throwing for 400 last week.
That's awesome. Crazy.
Hey, I mean, that's encouraging, though. I don't know. I think next season, I don't know if he'll hit 4,000 next season, but I think it shows that Russ has it in the tank to be a 4,000-yard passer again.
You guys go out and get a number 1 wide receiver? Who knows?
Hey, Pickens is a number 1 when he's not fighting the other team.
Pickens needs
Therapy.
Something. He is a menace.
Oh, man.
Like, he should have been talked to last week when he, on the Hail Mary, threw the dude into the wall instead of trying to catch the Hail Mary.
Well, did you see the Tomlin quote?
He needs to grow up or whatever.
Yeah, Tomlin's just saying, like, you can't act that way in this locker room. Like, he needs to grow up. And
Mike Tomlin's the one saying that?
I mean, have you seen the head cases we've had that have been?
Yeah, but he's saying that now. He's like, where was that the last 10 years when you had Brown and Bell?
Dude, Brown didn't completely pop off the wagon until
I guess that's true.
Until he left, while he was leaving, he was going and saying signs were on the wall that was like, we can no longer control Antonio Brown, trade him to the Raiders, and everyone's like, whoa, you're trading Antonio Brown for a 3rd round pick? What are you doing? He doesn't play a snap for the Raiders.
Yeah. But it's like even Chase Claypool, he wasn't as bad as either of these two, but it was still a little bit of a handful.
And look what happened to Chase Claypool. Got shipped away. And then same with Deontay Johnson.
The league no longer plays for anyone relevant.
Well, look at Deontay Johnson. Same thing. Deontay Johnson was whining, complaining, throwing tantrums, all that stuff. We trade him to the Panthers. He gets traded away from the Panthers almost immediately. Non-factor for Baltimore.
You guys do know how to kind of handle it a little bit, but it just tends to happen a lot more with you guys for whatever reason.
Well, because that's our draft strategy. We find the guy who's an obvious 1st-round talent but has extreme character issues, get him for a couple of years, and then when the character issues implode, then you send him away. The only issue with George Pickens is he's way better than all those other receivers, minus Antonio Brown. Yeah. I think George Pickens is the best wide receiver we've had since Antonio Brown, and that's even including that Juju year. George Pickens is just more talented, runs better routes, is one of the best contested catches. He's just super athletic. George Pickens is one of the best receivers the Steelers have had for a long time. The issue is, can George Pickens control himself? And the answer is no.
No.
I don't know. Maybe he'll mature, but we definitely do need to look at receiver because, if we don't have, outside of George Pickens, I like Calvin Austin. He's fast.
But that's all he is.
That's about it.
Yeah. But no, it'll be interesting. It's weird. I feel like any year in the AFC North, you could pick a team to be oh, they're going to win the division, and they end up losing it, everything. It's next year, the Bengals, if they make some moves, they could be back up there. They have the offense to do it. They have some of the players to do it. If we had the 20th ranked defense in the league, we'd probably be 2 games over 500.
Way better. You'd be way better.
Yeah. But it's
well, that's and the only inevitability with the AFC North is that the Steelers are going to finish with an over 500 record, or is going to have 500 or higher. And the with the 9th win, he ties Bill Belichick with 19 consecutive non-losing seasons. So he just needs 2 more to tie the record of Tom Landry with 21.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, the Bengals aren't the worst defense. We have tied the most touchdowns at 41.
Let me try to guess. Who's the worst defense?
This is by defensive yards per game.
Okay.
This is the only stat that they're going off of. I just typed in a quick thing.
I'm trying to think who's been.
I'll give you a hint. We're 27th.
Oh, so there's a couple of teams below you guys.
But it is just yards per game. We are the worst, tied worst in touchdowns allowed.
Is it the Jags? Are the Jags 32nd?
The Jags are 32nd at 406 yards a game and 39 touchdowns.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm trying to think of a team who's been more atrocious on defense, and it's the Jaguars have been real bad defensively this year.
Yeah, the Panthers are 31st at 392 and 41 touchdowns. So behind the Bengals, starting at 27, is Buccaneers, Colts, Saints, Panthers, Jags.
All those teams make sense.
Yeah. The Ravens are 23rd, which is crazy. And same with the Browns. The Browns are 24th. Those are usually good defenses.
Well, Ravens lost a lot of pieces. We talked about that during the offseason, which has really affected them more than I thought it was going to. You thought it was going to affect them more than I did, which you were corrected.
It's also skewed. You played the Bengals twice in 2 shootout games.
Yeah, but I mean, even in the games outside of that, the Ravens defense has not looked good.
No, yeah.
They've only looked good against us, and that's because Harbaugh and Tomlin know how to coach against each other.
No, yeah. The Chargers and Lions have both only given up 20 touchdowns. The Eagles at 23, Steelers at 25 with the Bills.
I am surprised about the Browns, though. I did not think the Browns had a bad passing defense this year. I mean, I think it's just
touchdowns given up, 349.6 yards.
Honestly, what probably killed them is they were just punting so often.
Yeah.
Like, when you're just not moving the ball, like, your defense is just going to get tired. Even if you have a really good defense, like, there's only so much you can do if every drive ends in a punt.
Yeah. But, like, give us the Brown, like, just combine the Bengals and the Browns. We're probably a Super Bowl contending team.
Relocate both the teams to Columbus and have them combine.
Like, honestly, give us the Browns defense and, like, if we could mix and match, put Hendrickson on there. But even just the straight up Browns defense with the Bengals offense, I'd be so curious to see what they could do.
Hey, just hey, there's a city literally between the two. Just
with a C in the name.
Yeah, just go to Columbus and make the Columbus.
I don't say start World War III, but could you had the Pittsburgh Steagles for a little bit and the Pittsburgh Steeler Cardinals for a little bit. Why can't we have the
Columbus
Cleveland Bengals or the Cincinnati Browns? That makes more sense because we're both founded by the Browns.
It'd be like I'm trying to think of a brown cat. It'd be like the Columbus leopards or something.
Yeah. It would be a Jaguar kind of, but
yeah, you can't take that one.
Team, yeah. The Cincinnati or the Columbus Grizzly Bears.
Yeah, there you go.
New team.
Dear God, why did we relocate to Columbus?
But even give us the Buccaneers. They're giving up more yards, but they've given up 7 less touchdowns, and less touchdowns probably wins us 7 games.
The thing is if you take any defense besides the Jaguars defense, you guys would be
and
a
the
better
Panthers.
team. True.
They've given up just as many touchdowns.
Yeah. Besides those two.
But yeah, besides the Panthers and the Jags, the 3 defenses behind the Bengals have given up 33, 32, and 31 touchdowns.
Ridiculous.
If you could save us 10 touchdowns on the season, we might be undefeated. Because I think we're 1-8 in 1-score games.
Yeah, I mean, you guys haven't been blown out in the game, right?
No. Let's see. We lost a 1-score game against the Patriots. The first 3 games, all 1-score games. Ravens game, 1-score games. The Eagles, we lost by 20, but that was because of late touchdowns. Other Ravens game, 1-score game. Chargers, 1-score game. Steelers, 1-score game. 7 games were 1-score games.
So yeah, you would win you would probably be, what is it, 10 or 11-1? You would win every game besides Philly.
Yeah. And even with Philly, give us if we are taking, what defense was it? Give us the Saints offense and save us 10 touchdowns on the season. If you want to be weird with math, but we still have 3 extra touchdowns left over for that 10 after those 7 games. That's 21 points. We'd win the Eagles game.
The one thing y'all got going for you right now, though, is the next 3 weeks are very nice. You have Dallas, Tennessee, Cleveland.
Yeah.
I really don't see Dallas with a backup QB keeping up.
Well, he shredded our defense a couple years ago.
Well.
So I would not be surprised.
I mean, you lose any one of those 3 games, you're done.
Oh, we're already done. I'm not expecting a playoff berth. I'm not expecting anything. I want a top 10 pick.
Which you guys could get.
Yeah.
I think you're too
good. That is what I want right now.
I think your offense is too good. I don't see you guys losing to Tennessee or Cleveland, to be honest.
No, I don't think so.
Especially Tennessee. I really don't see you guys losing to Tennessee. So I think you guys will probably win end with somewhere 7 wins, and that's probably going to put you at pick 11.
I know. Right now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right now we're at 11. Well, we're tied 11 with Chicago, New Orleans, and us. Yeah.
There's a lot of bad teams this year. That's what kills you guys. There's a lot. I think there's still a lot of 2 and 3 win teams. A ton. Well, 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts with Cleveland and goes down to the Giants. This year seems just weird, though. It's like it's very even throughout. Like we have 11-1, 11-1, and then a couple 10-2s, a couple 9-3s, some 8-5s. Then we got like 6-6s, and then 5s and 7s. Like it's very like fluid all the way throughout the 32 teams.
Which is probably how it's supposed to look most years. I think most years just get kind of weird.
Yeah. But no, yeah. The Bears have a +1 point differential? Hell yeah.
Nice. Good for them.
So funny.
Well, do you want to move on to our Fiasco Awards?
Yeah. We talked about the Bengals enough. Steelers have a bright future if you guys can pick up a couple pieces. The Bengals need a lot. It's basically the summary of the last 45 minutes.
Hey, and you can make an argument summary for like the last like 20 years too.
Honestly, I've probably never said this in my life, and I'll probably never say it again. Put Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase on the Steelers, and I'm a Steelers fan.
You wouldn't be.
I would. Give me
You really
Chase
think
and
so?
Burrow on Pittsburgh, and I'd be a Steelers fan. They'd probably win the Super Bowl.
They would. They would most likely win. But I don't know. We hopefully I mean, I hope it gets tested out, but hopefully for your sake it never gets tested out because I don't know. I think you would say you would, and then you would sit there and root for the Steelers for one game, and it'd probably feel really weird.
It would feel really weird, but it technically is in my blood.
True.
It's just very suppressed. Like I have a Steelers hat in my closet.
That's true.
Thanks, Pat. Yeah, Fiasco Awards.
Yeah. So
You can say our one because
our one goes to Aziz Al-Shaair for trying to murder Trevor Lawrence. And did you see his apology on Instagram or whatever it was?
Well, did you see the head coach's apology?
Mm-mm.
It wasn't even an apology. He was backing his own player. He's like, well, Trevor Lawrence should have just slid earlier.
Awful.
It's like, well, what are you talking about?
There was like 6 yards of space. Well, like he started to slide and
He was going to make contact, but he didn't need to lead with the elbow and the forearm and the helmet all into his head.
Yeah, like you don't have to say like, oh, he needs to like completely back off and like risk an injury, but like he could just like kind of fall on top of him and that would have been good enough. But instead, like he genuinely goes like for a kill move. Like he throws his arm and head into his head. And Trevor Lawrence gets like severely concussed, as you can see on the field.
He does the fencing.
Yeah.
I will say, though, what the NFL does need to start doing, it happened with the University of Pittsburgh and Kenny Pickett. They need to start making quarterbacks liable for their decisions. Because Patrick Mahomes this week, he was rushing for a first down, and he was a couple yards away, saw a defender, thought about going down, did a little dip. The defender went whoop, and Patrick Mahomes just kept running.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't be allowed to fake slide. Like that shouldn't be you can't fake slide. I think because that creates a lot of safety issues if you do allow fake sliding.
And
I mean, it looks sick. Like when it happens, it's like, oh shit, he juked him. Like it looks awesome, but it is bad for safety reasons.
And on the sideline is a big thing. A lot of quarterbacks will tiptoe for an extra 4 or 5 yards because everyone lets them go because they're like, well, if I touch him, it's a flag. But he's still running in bounds. Like he'd either they need to say like, hey, quarterbacks, give yourself up completely or we're going to let you get hit.
Definitely.
And I heard someone say today, it was the NFL is so pro quarterback like safety, yet today's offense is built around QB runs and QB being the main focus of the ball. You can't pick both. You can't be protecting the quarterback while offenses are built around quarterbacks running the ball.
No.
It's just going to make it too hard for defenses to understand what to do.
No, I completely agree. I don't think any of that like behavior should be incentivized for quarterbacks, but defenses, especially in like Al-Shaair's case, like you cannot be making those types of moves or you're going to I mean, you're gonna paralyze somebody. Like that's just the way it goes.
I'm not defending him whatsoever. I'm just saying in a general blanket statement for the NFL.
Yeah, defenses need to be more aware, or quarterbacks need to be more aware of their actions.
Yeah, it's like if you keep doing this, you're going to be able to get hit.
Yeah,
but even
in that situation specifically, Lawrence wasn't fake sliding, right?
No, he was going down. He was sliding. And I saw a thing there like, well, he should have slid a yard earlier. It's like the dude was already 6 yards ahead of him.
Yeah, no, he had plenty of space between him and the defender to feel like he could safely slide.
Yeah. Like he was just going down like he normally does. It's like, dude just got laid out.
I am glad that the NFL did suspend Alshire, though. They at least did good with that.
It's also because he fought the other team and then
all the stuff.
Everything else happened and started another fight.
Yeah.
But and then like even like running backs, I remember what was it? I think Le'Veon Bell's last year in Pittsburgh. It was Bengals versus Pittsburgh in Cincinnati, and Le'Veon Bell was rolling out to the left side, and he started tiptoeing in I think it might have been Burfus, I don't know, but he went to like hit him and stopped.
Yeah.
And Le'Veon Bell just tiptoed and ended up scoring a touchdown on like a 25-yard run because no one wanted to touch him. Because it was the first year they started calling those penalties. So everybody was scared. It was like if he took one step to the left at the right time, that's 15 yards.
Yeah, they have to allow it that like maybe you can shove. You know, like if you can like you're allowed to shove, but you can't tackle on the sideline. Like because I think that would fix a lot of it. They
need to stop flopping and fast. Like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes have started flopping
for penalties.
And like these 6'5", 230-pound quarterbacks should not be flopping.
Yeah, we're in the early stages of it, so hopefully they start incentivizing it because, like, if not, we're gonna get Joel Embiid's. You know?
No, yeah, I saw a thing. They said fake slide should be a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, they'd make them stop real fast.
Yep.
Anywho, my fiasco award is the Chicago Bears in the last 23 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
You could have spiked the ball. It was only third down. You had 23 seconds and you wasted 20 seconds trying to set up a play. You should know at the end of the game, hey, we're either going to do one of two things. Kick a field goal or throw a Hail Mary.
Yep.
And then for them not even to get the ball to the end zone on the last throw is absurd.
Well, that's why the Bears finally broke their history. You know, they finally fired Eberflus.
Yeah.
You can't. That's an inexcusable coaching mishap. Like, you can't. And, you know, I know people have been also like they blame Williams for it too. And there is definitely fault to play in Caleb Williams taking time there. But the coach, like, he's a rookie quarterback. You're the head coach who's been here for a couple of years. Call the timeout. Like, you have to be the one that.
Timeout. Oh no, they did have a timeout.
They did have a timeout. Yeah. No, it's absolutely like you can put some blame on Caleb Williams, but it's real like it's way more on Eberflus. Like like you can't put your rookie quarterback in that position too. You know, like.
If you're in the NFL as a quarterback and you know, like, the play's not coming in and you know you have a timeout, call a timeout. You have the power to stop the clock. Do it.
I know. I completely agree. But if
your head coach is that incompetent, take over.
No, and I think a lot of veteran QBs would do that. But, you know, think about, like, your first couple of weeks on a job. You see something going wrong. You're not going to call it out, right? Like, I feel that's why, like, I give more leniency to Caleb Williams there because it's like you're the rookie QB, like you don't want to like accidentally piss off people or do the wrong thing because you know you expect your coach to be the guiding hand there. But
if you call a timeout there and you win the game, I don't think anyone's gonna be mad. And if the coach is mad, he should be fired.
No, absolutely. But you I can get it from like you're a rookie in the NFL, like you don't want to be the one making that decision, right?
No, yeah, like, I understand. Just be the Chiefs and have your defensive coordinator call the timeout and not get a penalty.
Yeah, right. I can't believe Eberflus. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Someone sent me a picture and it was just like an empty Ford Field with they photoshopped Eberflus on the sideline. They're like still waiting to call his final timeout.
Yeah, took that one to the grave.
Yeah, it's like it's not PTO. It doesn't roll over, right?
Yeah,
that would be a crazy thing. There should just be like an experimental football league where it's like
timeouts
you can have like timeouts roll over or challenges roll over. So like at the end of the year, you just have like 30 challenges and like 60 timeouts.
Dude, that'd be awful. It
would be horrible.
Dude, that'd be
so funny.
Think about a playoff game in that scenario. That's an 8-hour playoff game. Because the thing is in the fourth quarter, timeout. Every time we want to get the ball back and try to win.
It'd be like outside of your like 3 timeouts, all of them would be like 10-second timeouts or like 5-second timeouts. You couldn't have a full 60-second timeout.
Yeah, I guess so. I feel like it would still be a long.
It would be a timeout to literally just stop the clock and that's it, except for your original 3. Like,
I still think you add like an extra hour to the game. I'm gonna be honest. Even if it's just like a quick stoppage, like that is a brutally long game.
Oh yeah, but it's an experimental league. It's not supposed to be the NFL.
True. Yeah.
Add some more rules in there. Make it fun.
Just do like an NFL version of like the Savannah Bananas. Like
honestly,
be sick.
Just backwards passes and behind the back.
My Fiasco award is actually kind of a blanket one. It's more specific to one group, but just because everything went poorly for the state, I'm going to give it to the state of Ohio. Just with the Bengals and the Browns losing, like that sucks. Like you guys lost in pretty bad fashion, but it's mostly directed to Ohio State. Yeah.
Oh.
The Ohio State ending, which as an Ohio State hater was awesome to watch. It was beautiful. But holy shit, did you like the fact that you guys cannot beat Michigan and with how bad Michigan was this year specifically, and then to throw a tantrum at the end of the game because you lost to Michigan?
They weren't the only team to start a fight, okay?
No, it was a crazy week of college football.
I'm not even an Ohio State fan here, but there were 5 fights or 6 fights this week?
Oh yeah, it was
6 road teams beat their rivals on the road this week, and they were all playing to the flag, and everyone got in a fight.
Yeah, well, that was the thing about the there was a fight at the Georgia Tech game, and everybody's like, "Why is Georgia so hyped? They almost lost to Georgia Tech." Like, it was I think they only won by like 10 or something
like that.
It was really close. Regardless, the Ohio State one sticks out to me the most, just because it was such an embarrassing way to go out. Because they were pretty much cruising their way to a Big Ten championship. They were going to go play Oregon, and now they're not even in it. And seeing your team collapse like that, and then going into the playoffs, I don't trust Ohio State seriously.
They might have pulled the biggest brain play. So the 5 seed in this tournament is the easiest seed because you'll play the 12th seed. Mm-hmm. And then the 4 seed to the championship game.
Who's the 4 seed this year, though?
Let me see.
Playing the 12 seed's great for Ohio State, but
it'd be Notre Dame right now.
That's still a tough game.
No, yeah, but Ohio State fell to 7, so.
Oh, they fell all the way to 7.
5 spots. That's fair.
Yeah. That was Michigan was not good this year. Like losing to Michigan was no. So, and that's why I don't going into the college football playoffs. I don't take Ohio State seriously. You losing in that way, embarrassing yourselves after the game like that, dropping all the way down to 7 in the seeding. Like you guys are cooked. Like you're not winning the championship this year.
So we'll talk about college football for a second. This is the current. It just came out. I don't know if this is his rankings or the latest CBS Sports college football playoff predictions. So they have Oregon at 1, Georgia up to 2, which I don't understand that at all. No, this is wrong. They have SMU at 3. No.
You want to go to NCAA. Yeah.
NCAA.com. Well, they have the AP list, but I'm looking at like the playoff projections because it's not gonna. It's college is weird and they don't match.
No, you're right.
So, this is November 26th. Still weird. As of November 26th, okay, these people use the top 25 rankings. So, yeah, we could go off the top 25 rankings. And that would be, did you used to have it pulled up? No, okay. Oregon at 1, Texas at 2, Penn State at 3, Notre Dame at 4, Georgia with the easiest road at 5, playing against Arizona State, which is crazy that they're 10-2. Then it'll be Tennessee versus Alabama, Ohio State versus Boise State, and then SMU versus Indiana. Those are actually some pretty fire playoff games.
I'm just going to complain about it again. I hate what they've done with the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
Why is SMU and Cal in the I can't stand it. Like, that was the thing, is like when Pitt was competing for ACC this year,
you can make a bigger fight with SMU than Cal because Southern Mississippi is closer than California.
Well, SMU's not Southern Mississippi. SMU's in Texas.
I thought,
right?
Southern Methodist, isn't it?
They're Southern Methodist University in University Park in Dallas.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm just dumb. I knew it was Southern Methodist.
No, you're good. Every time I see SMU, I also think like Southern Mississippi or Southern Missouri or something, but no, they're in Texas.
But how they're 11-1 in their first year in the ACC is crazy. They went to the Atlantic Conference.
Good for them, but it pisses me off. Like, because the thing is like, if Pitt would have lost out to like, an actual ACC school that I'm used to seeing them lose to, like that would have been an easier pill for me to swallow. Yeah. But just to SMU, I was like, God damn, it's some bullshit. Like,
oh yeah, Pitt's not even like.
No, they lost a bunch of games. They lost. I think they ended up with 4 losses at the end of the year.
No, yeah, but
which is way better than Kent State. Woo!
Well, I was going to bring up this. You can continue on with your Ohio blanket because the top 133 team ranking came out. Kent State is last.
Yeah,
we are the worst team in college football.
Well, we're the only team to not win a game.
Purdue was 132nd, so at least we're only one worse than a Big Ten school.
Yeah, I mean, Purdue had an exceptionally bad season too. But I mean, the fact that we went winless, man.
Yeah.
Good job, Ohio.
Kent State has the big downfall. We left and everything went to crap because Sean Lewis left. We beat Jordan Love in a bowl game. Sean Lewis said, "Peace out, yo. I'm going to go work for Deion Sanders," and dipped.
Bullshit. We'll always have that win over Jordan Love, though. Fuck you, Jordan Love.
No matter what Jordan Love does, he lost his last college game to Kent State.
Yeah, I don't care if he wins 4 Super Bowls. He lost to Kent State.
Dude, if I don't see Dustin Crum in the ELF next year, I'm going to be so sad.
I don't. Is he playing anywhere?
He's in the CFL.
Oh, he's in the CFL? Good for him.
But hey, Dustin Crum, for whatever reason, if you hear this, go play for the Tyrol Raiders. They need a quarterback.
Oh shit, he's from Ohio. I didn't realize he was an like.
Usually,
if
you play for Kent State, you're going to be from Ohio.
I mean, typically, but sometimes they
they get the one off.
Somebody, looks like he's from Cleveland area.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for him, but
yeah.
Cool. You want to move into pick'ems?
Yeah, might as well. Since it's already been an hour. Holy cow.
Yeah.
But before I pull the pick'ems up, this ELF season should be fire. They'll be interesting. I'm on the college football schedule. But there's going to be, in the ELF, there's going to be schedule or conference realignment, like a big conference realignment.
Yeah.
There may or may not be 18 teams.
We're still waiting.
Some people know, but we don't know. But yeah, it should be good. Quarterbacks are moving around. People are signing people. So yeah. Anywho, into week 14, start off with a banger on Thursday night. Packers in Detroit. Over under 51.5.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's an awesome line. Give me Detroit.
I still like Detroit.
Yeah, I like Green Bay this year. I don't like them as much as Detroit. And honestly, at this point, until Detroit loses, I'm probably not picking against Detroit.
Yeah, what was all that Jamar Gibbs stuff? I missed it. Why were people calling for his suspension?
Oh, Well, I didn't see anything about Jahmyr Gibbs.
And even Dan Campbell made a joke about how he's like, oh, yeah, we're going to bench him next week.
Oh, yeah. Because he took a photo, apparently, with the playbook on accident. Like, I think he was, like, taking a photo of something, and there was the playbook on somewhere near him or something like that.
Gotcha.
And so people are like, oh, you were doing the plays.
Actual suspension.
Yeah, and and then Dan Campbell says, I mean, screw it, just send everybody our playbook. We're still going to win, which, good way to have your
so
back.
big, it's like good luck.
Yeah.
Dumpster game. You could go for $11. The 2-10 Jags with backup Mac Jones back in there against the 3-9 led Will Levis Titans.
Give me Tennessee.
Honestly, give me Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee's bad this year. I see Tennessee ending with like 5 or 6 wins, though. I don't think they're as
probably
bad.
Have more wins than the Bengals.
Potentially. But I don't see it. They're a step down from that, but I think they're a step above a lot of the other dumpster fires.
Yeah. But, I like Tennessee as well. Following up with the Jets versus the Dolphins in Miami. Dolphins.
I don't see the Jets winning anything. The fact that they didn't win last week with just how that game went, you guys aren't. I'm out on the Jets.
No, yeah, the city of New York is kind of struggling
a little bit.
So far, so easy. The 6-6 Falcons against the 10-2 Vikings. I feel like every week we pick the Falcons, saying they are going to have a bounce back game. It's due. They're going to have a bounce back game. They're not going to have a bounce back game. They're going to lose to the Vikings.
Yeah, not this week.
Not this week.
I am actually at the point now where I don't think Atlanta makes the playoffs.
Yeah, what's their division looks like?
I mean, everybody's around the same, but I think I like Tampa Bay more than I like Atlanta. So,
yeah, I like. Yeah, if I had to pick one of the 2 6-6 teams, I'm taking Tampa, especially with this week. We'll get there later.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm taking the 10-2 Vikings over the 6-6 Falcons.
Same here.
4-8 Saints versus the 2-10 Giants. I'm going Saints. They're just healthier.
They are healthier. Yeah. I think if Daniel Jones was still there, I think you could make an argument for the Giants winning. But I think if they're starting Tommy Cutlets, I mean, they might be moving on to.
Tommy Cutlets was hurt last week, so Drew Lock started, but played horrible. But still,
no faith in either of those guys.
Yeah. You can go see him for $22 though.
Yippee!
This is probably one of the biggest spreads of the week. The 3-9 Panthers against the 10-2 Eagles at Eagles -12.
Still give me Eagles. Hey, give me Eagles and give me Eagles -12.
Yeah, yeah. Give me all that. Give me Eagles. Give me money line, spread, and over under. Over. Hit the over at 45.5. Let's see what happens here. The 3-9 Browns versus the 9-3 Steelers.
I'm gonna pick the Steelers, especially since they're in Pittsburgh. We usually do play bad in Cleveland, and we will play better against them in Pittsburgh. And I think I think we're gonna be pissed off from losing to them last time. So I think we're gonna plan around Jameis Winston better, and probably shouldn't be any weather issues. I mean, maybe there will be, but I don't know. I think Pittsburgh's just going to be pissed off and beat Cleveland.
No, yeah. But hey, Jameis might throw for 500, 5 touchdowns and 5 picks this week.
And if he does, that probably screws over Cleveland. I don't think they can handle a 5-pick game.
No, yeah, that'd be crazy. Here's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh. I didn't say it, but I'm going Pittsburgh. Here's what I was talking about earlier. The 2-10 Raiders against the 6-6 Bucks.
Give me Baker.
Give me Baker. Let Baker bake. They shouldn't have won last week. But hey, a W is a W.
Yep.
Battle for the NFC West.
There you go.
7-5 Seahawks versus the 6-6 Cardinals. Winner of this game might win the division.
Definitely. And I'm leaning Arizona here. I know that Seattle just beat them, but this is in Arizona, and I still am kind of the opinion that I think Arizona is the better team compared to Seattle. So I think that they're going to split the series with them. So
if Metcalf plays, I'm going Seattle. If Metcalf does not play, I'm going Arizona.
I also think it's more interesting if Arizona wins.
No, it makes it a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, if Metcalf doesn't play, then I'm going Arizona. But yeah, these quarterbacks. Geno Smith, 3,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, 12 picks. Kyler Murray, 2,600 yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 picks.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the receiving core is what gets crazy. Trey McBride, 781 yards, 0 touchdowns. Jackson Smith-Njigba is their leading receiver at 829 and 4 touchdowns. But then James Conner has 773 with 5, and Kenneth Walker has 542 and 7.
Wow.
It's pretty weird leading players.
Definitely.
Yeah. But so we're split on that. Depends on if Metcalf plays. Bills versus Rams.
As much as I would love to see the Rams win because it would make it interesting in that division, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going Bills. They're just really good right now.
They are.
Here's one that could get funky. The 4-8 Bears versus the 5-7 Niners in San Francisco. With a new head coach. Well, interim head coach.
Interim head coach.
Isn't there a stat where like interim head coaches are like 3-27 or something like that?
Probably. That makes sense. Weirdly enough, I'm going to go with Chicago. San Francisco's had a really rough year. I mean, it looks like Christian McCaffrey's out again for the rest of the season.
And Jordan Mason's on IR.
Jordan Mason's on IR. I don't know. Trent Williams also just had his son pass away. He had a stillborn birth, which very sad for him. Awful. But I don't know if he's going to be playing just with recovering from that. So I think especially if he doesn't play, I just think San Francisco's checked out this year. I don't really know.
The crazy thing is they still have a shot at winning their division.
They do, but
yeah, I don't like the Bears with an interim head coach and 0-5 on the road.
Yeah.
So I just have to take the 49ers. And their third string running back, I don't know what the 49ers are doing. He's like 6 foot and runs a 4.2 or like a 4.31. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Sunday night game is kind of a banger. The 8-4 Chargers versus the 11-1 fraudulent Chiefs.
I'll have you go first.
Just on the Chargers or the Chiefs. I feel like with it being in Kansas City, it's going to be the Chiefs.
That's where I'm
leaning. I really want the Chargers, and I really think they can.
No, I think the Chargers could beat them. I think if any of the teams on the rest of the Kansas City schedule could beat them, it would be the Chargers. But in Kansas City, I'm not going to pick against Kansas City.
I will not be surprised if we see that there's a random referee thing at the end of this game. Out of any game this week, it's going to – because it's happened almost every single week.
Yeah.
Out of any game this week, it's going to be the Packers and Lions or the Chiefs and Chargers.
Yeah, one of the primetime games.
Yeah, and it's going to get all the attention of something that was missed or something that was called that shouldn't have been called. But yeah, I'm going Chiefs with them being at home.
Yep.
Then the Simpsons game, animated in the Simpsons universe.
Yep.
The 4-8 Bengals versus the 5-7 Cowgirls. Who you gonna have?
Give me the Bengals. Again, just Dallas with a backup QB. I don't trust it. I don't think it's going to be a pretty win. I'll tell you that right now. It's not going to be a pretty win, but
it's going to be 45-40 this game. I know the Bengals and Steelers just set the highest score of a NFL game this year, but they're about to beat it.
Cooper Rush is gonna somehow break the all-time passing touchdown game record. You know, he's gonna throw 8 in this game or something.
They both will. It'll just be like they'll both finish
okay.
with like 9 or something like that. Yeah, this is gonna be a bad. If you love offense, watch this game. That's all I have to say.
Watch it be like a 12-9 game.
I'd cry.
Like somehow the Dallas defense just destroys Joe Burrow, and yeah.
With how bad that defense has been nowadays, dude, I want to see Diggs guard Jamar Chase one-on-one so bad.
If this game, I will say this: if this game, for whatever reason, is defensive at all in any sort of the way, then the Cowboys are running away with it. But I highly doubt that's going to happen.
No.
So I'm going to go Bengals.
If Diggs is on Chase on Monday, it's going to look like Judy on, was it Williams last week or last night? Or whoever that Denver defensive back was. It's if you have Jamar Chase in fantasy, start him. That's all I got to say.
I mean, yeah, you should just be starting Jamar Chase in fantasy regardless.
That's fair. But no, that's our weeks. The teams with the byes: the Broncos, Colts, Patriots, Commanders, Ravens, and Texans.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right,
thanks for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed Tanner's voice a little bit better. He got a new mic.
Yeah, my wife got me a birthday present, so I don't sound like dog shit anymore. Hopefully. It's going to be funny if we do the recording and then we like listen to it and you're like, wait, why does my voice still sound terrible?
Why is it ass? But no, thanks so much for listening. Check out Bedstamp. Go to signupexpert.com/fiasco. Sign up for a new sports book if you haven't. Just in time for the playoffs-ish. We still have a couple weeks left, but college football playoffs, go bet on that. Give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple. Go follow us on social media at @4down_pod on X or Twitter if you're still into that. I don't know if we started a Blue Sky account. There were hints at it.
We might. I'll have to get with Jordan again, and we'll see.
I know nothing about Blue Sky. I know it's similar to Twitter.
I know nothing either. I don't have a Blue Sky account, but
I know it's the people that left Twitter just made a new Twitter.
Yeah.
That's all I really know. At @4downfiasco on Instagram and TikTok. And once in the new year, I think we'll start posting more on our social media a little bit better. We've been a little lackluster just because NFL season's hard. Once the ELF season kicks off, we'll be good.
Definitely. It's also holidays. Give us a break.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, have a good week. Enjoy some football. Peace.
Well, I like school, and I like football, and I'm gonna keep doing them both because they make me feel good.